The cursed muscle, if you train it, you lose. Great bodybuilders like Nick Walker, Blessing Abodibu, Sergey Danilov, Mikhail Kriso, Hassan Mustafa, it's even starting to happen to Andrew Jackett. Exaggerated, overly prominent obliques that even make them look deformed. This is a big problem in bodybuilding today. But what is it? Why does it happen? How can it be fixed? Today I've got a slightly different video for you on this topic, which I think could be interesting. First, we need to understand what the abdomen is. The abdomen isn't just the six-pack or the washboard abs. When people think about the abdomen, they're thinking about the rectus abdominis. But the abdomen, or the core if you prefer, is actually made up of many more muscles. It has a superficial layer containing the rectus abdominis, the six-pack muscle, and the external oblique. It has a middle layer with the internal oblique and a deeper layer with the transverse abdominis. Then there are other muscles like the serratus, the intercostals, the diaphragm, spinal erectors, quadratus lumborum, pelvic floor, and so on. They make up the entire core, the midsection of our body, and have similar functions. There are many abdominal muscles. It's quite a mess. But let's focus on the obliques. We have the external oblique and the internal oblique, two on each side. And I mention this because they can even hypertrophy asymmetrically, as in Nick Walker's case, where it's pretty obvious. The external oblique is the most visible because it's the one on the outside. In bodybuilders who are very defined, you can really see this oblique. It's striated and defined, and it really helps with aesthetics. As long as it's not overly hypertrophied. It starts at the ribs and attaches to the linea alba, iliac crest, and pubis. The direction of its fibers is like putting your hand in your pocket, so you understand me. It serves to rotate the torso, or prevent it from doing so, to flex it laterally, compress the abdominals, and stabilize the spine. And then there's the internal oblique. It's also very bulky, although it's underneath the external one, but it can push it and make it stand out. And its fibers are perpendicular to the external one. My god, what is this? An anatomy class? That's enough. Yes, it's true, that's enough. Let's get to the topic of the video. Why do some bodybuilders have such wide waists? There are several factors, we already know that. The abuse of GH, of insulin, the growth of the organs. Of course, but today I want to focus on the topic of the cursed muscle. Not on abdominal bloating or distension as such. In a normal person who works on hypertrophy or strength, the obliques become slightly hypertrophied. Don't worry, don't be afraid. Unless you overwork them, your waist won't get wider. But what happens when a bodybuilder, with such an extreme muscle gain diet, genetics already predisposed to getting big, and on top of that, they usually take large amounts of chemicals and various anabolic substances? What happens when all of that comes together with strength and hypertrophy training? Well, in some cases, highly determined by genetics, by what each bodybuilder takes, and how they train, they can grow to the point where it becomes unaesthetic and can destroy your physique. Recently, we saw Blessing Abodibu compete at the Arnold South America, where his obliques would pop out and go back in during many poses, popping out and going back in, and they completely ruined his aesthetics and proportions. And it's not that bodybuilders work them directly. It's unusual. Some people barely train their abs at all. But it also works indirectly during very heavy exercises, free weight exercises, a military press, even a pull-up, a squat, a walking lunge with weight, even if it's just to stabilize the torso. They're also super heavy people, weighing 140, 150 or 160 kilos like Samson, and this also gives their obliques extra work in their daily life. I'll make it easier for you. Bodybuilders' jaws, their masseter muscles, grow excessively just from chewing food. And they don't spend hours chewing on tough foods or vegetables like cows. It's just that even from chewing cream of rice and ground meat, their faces already grow. Their necks get wider. For some it becomes like a real bison. Some even get huge forearms without training them, and here I am, killing myself working on my forearms. The same occurs with the oblique. Many of them expose themselves to growth hormone, insulin, and other substances that cause muscle mass growth in muscles they don't even train. Well, we can have bodybuilders with oblique insertions like Blessing, whom I've already mentioned, or like many others where that cursed muscle has destroyed their midsection, their aesthetics, and having more muscle has actually made them look worse. If you think about it, it's quite curious. Nathan Diasa, for example, also has his external obliques that have hypertrophied excessively with that peculiar insertion he has, and his waist looks awful. You can even see them from the back. And one more important detail, some bodybuilders don't get that defined, and generally men store fat in that area, which makes the problem even worse. Can this be reduced? Can it be solved? Since it's quite a difficult muscle. You can try to improve the vacuum, abdominal control. You saw recently that Blessing, when he competed, did the vacuum and his obliques would disappear. You can try to improve the width of your lats, your shoulders, to improve proportions, but this is quite difficult to fix. And the thing is, this muscle can destroy a bodybuilder's physique. And it's not the only one. A neck that's too wide can make the shoulders look narrower, or even an overly developed head with a jaw that's too wide. Bodybuilders must gradually sculpt their bodies, targeting hypertrophy in desired areas while avoiding growth in others that could harm them. And as a training enthusiast, this just scared you, I've got you worried. Now you're never going to train your obliques or abs again. No, don't worry, it's almost impossible for this to happen to you. You can do vacuums, planks, Pallof press. You can do side crunches for your obliques and many other exercises practically without fear. And here, to finish the video, I want to vent a little. Because I see a lot of men and women who go to the gym and go crazy. They start doing waist twists and picking up huge weights on one side of their body and lifting them hundreds of times over lots of sets, every workout, thinking that this will slim down their abdomen. When we know that you can't burn fat in a localized way, and they're building up and training a muscle for hypertrophy that makes the waist look wider. So yes, these poor guys are probably making things worse. Making their waist wider instead of smaller and ruining their proportions. Pretty ironic. Well, this is the cursed muscle of bodybuilding in my view, though there are others. Don't forget to check out the channel for more content. That's it for today. Aris YT Culturismo signing off. See you next time.